Hey there, my name is Colin, also known as Skips, and welcome to the Modder's Blueprint. This is a series where I'll teach you everything you need to know to mod Terraria and make super cool content like this. I'm a CS student, and I've been modding Terraria for about 5 years now, and I'm even an active developer on projects such as Spirit Reforged. Now, we're going to be mastering the basics in this series. Visual effects will be built with Terraria's internal assets and systems. Alright, let's hop right into it. Okay, welcome back everybody to the Modder's Blueprint. This is going to be episode 4. We're going to be finishing off the first 4 weapons. We did one for melee, ranged magic. We're going to finish off with a summon weapon. Definitely the most complicated of the bunch. Summon weapons, you kind of have to create your own variant of an NPC, fit with its own behavior, and it can just be a lot more involved than something like just a bow, gun, sword, stuff like that. So this is gonna be a bit more in-depth, a bit more thorough. That's alright. And before we get into the tutorial, I just want to say if you haven't watched the previous tutorials, I highly recommend at least taking a look at those. They kind of build upon each other. A lot of stuff that's covered in previous tutorials, I will try not to reiterate too hard for the sake of brevity. So just go ahead and check out those other tutorials, drop some support over there, and I would just appreciate if you could give a like and a subscribe. These videos do take me quite a while to make, and the support means a lot and helps keep the series going. But yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna head out of the game, drop into some Visual Studio, and get some files ready for us. Alrighty. I went ahead and just added basically our item as well as the summoning buff. So, because we're doing a summon weapon, there's going to be a lot of things different in here than typical things. Also, I want to go over our assets. So we have the Minion Summon, and its staff. This is going to have an eye for drawing later. And this is just the buff icon. But anyways, we set the size and damage type to summon. This is commented out because technically, summon weapons are supposed to use mana, but they don't use mana in 1.4.5, so I'm just gonna make them not use mana here. Set the shoot to the minion. Item.value. I don't think we've gone over this. Basically, it's an integer for how much the item is worth. You can use item.sell price here. For example, sell price, it goes platinum, gold, silver, copper. So you can do copper 50 and it'll be worth 50 copper. In this case, I want to do like 5 silver. Buff type, that gives it a buff type. You don't want to set item.buff time because that will give it a duration in the tooltip. But we do set it to the summon buff, which all summons have. In shoot here, this just makes it so it summons at the mouse position and it adds the buff to the player. We add recipes. I'm just using Cactus and Fallen Star here. In the summon buff, we're going to have these two booleans set to true. These are arrays that are indexed by the buff ID. You don't want it to save because the minions despawn when you leave the game, and you don't want it to display time. Whoops. You don't want it to display time because minion summons don't do that. And then this is just the minion. I haven't added anything to this yet. We can go ahead and start getting some stuff in place. It's gonna be a little complicated, so we are gonna have to definitely iterate. This is gonna be the majority of the video. The item, the buff, that's all pretty standard stuff. So let's start by getting just some basic stuff in place. I'll get timer. I'm gonna get owner. I'm just copying these from the last weapon we made. Oh, yes, we're gonna use a what I call a state machine. It's nothing too complicated. But we want to use it for this because it just makes the code a lot more readable. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to use something called an enumerable, or enum, and that essentially just assigns constants, constant integers, 0, 1, 2, 3, names in your code. So, for example here, I can do idle equals 0, fly to target equals 1, and then dash equals 2. Those are going to be our three quote-unquote attack states. Then we can just copy this code, make sure to set it to a different one. Then instead of int, we're going to do minion state, and then boom. Yeah, so now we have a state we can use to make our AI a lot more readable. We are also going to get public int target who am I. We want to use same logic here. This is going to be for the target we're targeting, or the minion is targeting. Down here, we're going to do public NPC target. We're going to get set. So first, we're going to do something for minion specifically. So we're going to do owner.minion target attack NPC greater than 0. This is a what's it called? I'm completely blanking on the actual name. Operator. Let's see. Ternary. That's the name. This is a ternary operator. I believe we've gone over this before, but basically it's just gonna check this Boolean expression. If it's true, it's gonna run one code, or x, y. It's gonna run x if this is true. Otherwise, it's gonna run y. In this case, we're checking if the owner has a minion attack target NPC. That's what whips and the right-click functionality on summon stabs do to control your minions, quote-unquote. So, we're going to check this, and actually we're going to check and main.npc the minion we're targeting can be chased by this. So if it's something valid that we can chase, and then we're also going to check, and I'm going to make a constant max dist going to be equal to 900 times 900. That'll come into play later, but we're doing 900 times 900 because we're going to be using distance squared because it's a little bit better for performance. And then owner dot distance. Whoops, I copied that twice. Then we're going to check the NPC dot less than. And we're going to just make sure this is distance squared. The reason this is more performance intensive is because we're just skipping a square root calculation, which can be a bit more performance intensive. Basically, if all three of these checks are good, we are just going to return this NPC. Otherwise, we're going to have this statement, which actually, target who am I less than 0, and 1, and null, main.npc, target who am I. So that's actually two ternary operators. You could probably split this out into like some more lines. I'm just going to do it all in one line because it's fine, but basically this is going to return either the target the owner's targeting or the NPC based on target who am I. Now we do actually have to write a method to get target who am I. I'll do that in just a second, but let's start getting what we need in place for a minion. So we're going to start and set static defaults. We're going to do main.prod.pet type equals true. This is just for pets and minions, or maybe just minions. No, pets and minions. I'm gonna do projectile ID dot sets dot minion targeting feature type equals true. We have to do this for the minion targeting to work. Minion sacrificable type equals true. ID dot sets dot cultist is resistant to type equals true. So these are for minions specifically, and then cultist is just more resistant to homing projectiles, and that's just for vanilla parity. Anything that vanilla does it for, we do it for too. At least if you want, you don't have to, but I do. Just if something's homing, make sure the cultist takes a little bit less damage from it. Then we can do that size equals 20. That should be the size of this. Yeah. I mean, you can even do it a little bit smaller. It's probably fine. Randomly equals true. Minion equals true. Minion slots equals 1. This doesn't have to be 1, you know, like, you can make it 0.1 for all I care. But most minions use 1, so we're just gonna use 1 here. Damage type equals damage class dot summon. 5. I'm just giving it some armor penetration. Dot penetrate equals makeup 1, so it doesn't die when it hits something. Dot uses dot local MC cooldown equals 15, and then water equals true. All of those are pretty self-explanatory. Just local NPC immunity basically means each projectile has its own immunity timer. You want to set this true for most summons because you don't want them in having weird interactions with iframes. Before 1.4, that's why summoning kind of sucked, especially multi-class summoning and like imp staff and stuff. So you just kind of want to use local NPC immunity in a lot of cases. So yeah, that looks all about right. When we spawn, we're just gonna make actually no. Okay. We just want to make sure that target who am I is -1 upon spawning, so that nothing weird happens there. Override minion contact damage. We're gonna return that our state is equal to minion state dot dash because we're only gonna want to be dealing damage when we're dashing for this minion specifically. As you can see, this is the first example of our state machine, just making everything look a lot readable. Otherwise it would gonna be equal like 2. That's not readable. So I much prefer an enum here. Okay, yeah, all this looks about right. Oh yeah, let's write out the method for getting our target, finding a target at least. So yeah, I'm gonna do probably public int, or I mean, I guess I can just do internal int get target index. Yeah, npc target is equal to main.npc.where. So this is a numerable sequence. It uses a predicate, which is basically a lambda expression where you can go get set, or like the get set operator, and then n dot whatever. So we're gonna start with can be chased by this, and dot distance squared center less than max dist, and actually I think that's it. We don't really need collision. It's just gonna go through walls. We're gonna order by the distance, so that we're getting the closest NPCs first. Set, and then first or default. So, if the target is null, we're gonna return a 1. Otherwise, we're gonna return the index of the target. Very simple. Yes. Right, AI? Boy. Okay, so because we're using a state machine, I just like to have 3 AI methods named exactly like the statement, the states that we have. So we're gonna have internal void idle, internal void fly to target, internal void, and then in AI, this is the actual state machine part. We're basically going to be using what is called a switch statement. But first we're going to do if owner.has buff. There we go. This is basically just going to make the projectile last forever if the player has the buff. Otherwise, when they right click to get rid of the buff, it's going to despawn everything. So now we're going to use the switch statement. If you aren't aware what a switch statement is, it's basically just a conditional statement that has many different cases. So we're going to switch our state. We're going to do case. This is how you write a switch statement. Idle. Then you use the colon, and you're just going to call idle and break. You want to break out of every case. And we're going to do case fly to target, break. Case dash break. Very simple. And basically, each one of these methods are just going to run each frame depending on what our state is. That's going to make everything very simple for us to do. So, okay, here we go. Let's get just a basic drawing method in real quick. And then I'm going to build, and then we're going to start working on our, we're just going to start on our idle movement. But, do this, mod text equals mod content dot request texture to d texture dot value, and then main, actually I'll put this right back fb, so main dot right back sb dot draw x enter dot screen position null light color rotation text dot size 2f dot scale 0 0. All right, so yeah, that's a draw method. All right, that was a lot, but hopefully I explained everything. I tried to be quite thorough. I'm just gonna build up real quick, and then we're gonna start working on our actual behavior. Alrighty, we built. We're in game. It's 6 7. It's in game, and it doesn't do anything. But we do have the buff and the scepter. I don't have any localization. But you know, as you guys hopefully remember, localization, it builds in real time, and you can always summon a cactus sphere to protect you. It's looking at you or something. And now it'll reload. And yeah, and that should be probably here. I guess. I don't know. I didn't really think about what to call. Or I can do just like cactus ball. Succulent sphere kind of sounds weird. Alright, so it doesn't do anything, it doesn't deal damage, and it doesn't idle near the player. But we're all going to build that real quick, just in real time, because we can do that. So, we're going to start in this method called idle. To start, we're going to check two things. If target is null, or target.active, we're going to set target whoami to get target index. This is just going to search for a target when we don't have one, or the one we were targeting dies. Now, we're going to make a vector2 called idle position. We're going to set it to owner.center plus 2. Let's just do kind of behind the player times the direction of the player plus, well, I guess minus 25 times del.minion pose times owner.direction. And basically this is just going to make the minions line up, because minion pose increases by 1 with each minion you have. I can't test it obviously because we don't do anything with this, but that'll just make like kind of a line of minions behind the player. Then we're going to get distance equals distance. Oh no, I think we're just going to use regular distance here. Center idle position. 2 idle position equals position minus projectile dot center. If 2 idle pose less than actually check the length, less than 0.001f, we're going to set 2 idle position to vector2.0. This is just so that when the distance between them is really small, it doesn't freak out and just like kind of shake in place. After that, we're just going to do float speed. This is going to be the speed of kind of how our minion moves while idling. Let's just set it to like 25. If distance less than 1,000, we set speed equal to mathhelper.lerp. Yeah, sorry, I just sneezed twice. My allergies are killing me today. I like just woke up. Okay, not just woke up, it's 12:30. I've been up for like a couple of hours. But distance divided by 1,000f. Basically, this is just going to check if distance is greater than 1,000, it's just going to be a speed of 25 pixels per second. Oh my goodness. Sneezed again. So that's our default speed. If the distance is less than 1,000, it's going to lerp from 25 to 5. So that's just going to give it some kind of smoothing. Let's do another one. Less than 100f. Speed equals lerp 1.5f distance divided by 100f. And then 2 out of position. We're going to normalize the direction. And then we're going to multiply it by speed. Yes, and then we're going to do projectile.velocity equals .lerp. Oh, actually, no. You can do a different formula. You can do projectile.velocity times 25f minus 24f plus 2 idle position divided by 25f. I think could work. Let's check it out. There we go. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now it's just kind of floating behind us, and it's got like pretty smooth movement. It's not jittery. It speeds up if we're far away. And then it kind of slows down as it gets to us. Very nice. I think it's a little fast, reasonably. Check it out. Yeah, there we go. Very nice, very smooth. So, now we're also just going to do a little distance check. Distance greater than... Like, if the minion goes off screen, you're going to want to set... You just want to teleport the minion to the auto position. And circular, F, and then net update equals true. And we're just gonna sync it whenever something like that happens. So now it's just gonna, it should. It looks like it just despawned. Not sure why it's just despawning. When that happens. Oh, that's why. I set it to idle position, not idle position. So it's spawning it off the map. There we go. As you can see, it teleports with us. Just so that, like when you use a recall potion or something, the minions stay with you. Other than that, we're just gonna do some things right here, like projectile rotation. We're just gonna do plus equals projectile velocity length 0.3 f. Now it's just gonna kind of rotate. Very nice. And then we can also do this times projectile direction. So it rotates differently depending on where you're going or which direction it's moving. So, kind of looks a little bit weird. I don't know if I want to multiply it by the direction. But it should, and it will, rotate faster depending on how fast it's moving. You can also just multiply it by, like, the X vector. If you wanted to. But I'm just gonna use the length because I think it looks fine enough. I think that's our idle movement done. And then let's move on to our flying to target and the actual attacking behavior real quick. Alrighty. So, for the flying to target, we're going to start off with 2 checks. If the target is null, or target can be chased by this, or target distance squared dot center greater than max dis. Basically, if the target's not valid anymore. In this case, we're going to set our timer equal to 0. We're going to set target tool might equal to -1. We're going to set state equal to idle. And we're going to return. We can actually put this exact code in our dash. Just whenever it's attacking something, we should always have a safety check to make sure the target is not invalid. Doesn't exist, died, whatever. Then, we're going to get... Actually, let's make a vector 2 real quick. And let's call it... Actually, yeah, because we still have to make sure it can get to fly to target. But we're also going to make a vector 2 called attack position. Or attack offset, I think would be a good name. So, in idle, at the bottom, we're going to check if target is not null. And actually, no. We just need to check if it exists. We're going to set timer to -60. We're going to set attack offset to, and next, vector to circular edge, 100F. And then we're going to set our state equal to minion state dot fly to target. So basically, in the idling, if we find a target, we're going to set the state to fly to target. You can see that in game. As you can see, it's broken. Because nothing's happening in fly to target, but once we add some stuff, then it'll be in this AI state and it'll work. So first we're going to get vector 2 direction. Actually, we're going to do vector 2 target position equals target dot center plus attack offset. This is basically just going to make an attack in a circle radius around the target. Vector 2 direction equals vector dot direction 2 target position. We're going to do times equals 5F. Dot velocity equals so vector 2 dot lerp. Check out the velocity direction 9F, I guess would be a fine one. Then we're gonna do dot rotation plus equals. Or actually, I'm just gonna copy it from up here. Then we're also gonna do vector dot rotation plus equals math helper dot length 0.1F, 0.5F 1F minus math dot apps math. I don't have math. There we go. Salute. Timer divided by 60F. This is gonna give it a little charge up animation because it's gonna like go to the target, charge up, as you guys saw in the intro. Then we're gonna check a few things. Basically, we have to find when it's close enough to the target to actually dash at the target, and then we're gonna set our state to the dashing state. So, if projectile distance squared position is less than, we're gonna do two constants. This equals 50 times speed. Right. This. So that's if we're in 50 pixels of the target position, or plus timer greater than 0, or we can dash early. If our timer, if a second has elapsed, but we also want to check we can only dash if we are less than twice of distance. It's going to be about 100 pixels, just so that we're not dashing from super duper far away. Then we're going to set timer equal to 0. We're going to set state equal to dash. So it's going to fly at the target. It just dashed or whatever, and then it's as you can see, broken. But it flies at the target at a randomized position. Whoops. I accidentally set tile collide to true. But now, as soon as this happens, we're going to we already have our, no, we're going to do vector to dash direction equals direction to target center. Now velocity equals direction, or not direction, dash direction. Main ran max float. We're gonna do like 4.5 to 6.5 just to give it a little bit of minimization. And then now we're gonna actually dash at the target. whenever it happens. But as you can see, we don't have anything in the actual dash method, but it's a start. And then in dash, we're basically just going to want to slow the minion down and then return to fly to target, just so it will repeatedly hit the target. So we're gonna do this. I'm gonna make it rotate just a little bit faster. We're gonna check, or we're gonna increment our timer. We're gonna check if timer greater than 10, not velocity times equals 0.97f, I think would be good. If timer greater than 35, we're gonna set fly to, let's offset, and that makes it just use the edge. Same thing we did up there to get the randomized attack position. State equals fly to target, timer equals -60. Basically the exact same thing that we do right here. And now, check it out. Cool. It's a little slow, maybe. Yeah, I think the dash should be a little bit more aggressive. There we go. That's very cute. Yeah, and it should work with multiple minion slots. Alright. Now, in our idle behavior, right now, they kind of just exist in a line, which, I mean, is fine, but I do want to give them some idle movement so it's not so, I guess, just static. So, I'm probably just going to use some sinusoidal movement, just to, give them a little bit of life. So, for the Y parameter, I'm going to do sin main.global time rep hourly. Plus pose 7.5f times 12f. Will that work? Nice. Yeah, so now they're just gonna kind of subtly go up and down. Pretty slowly, but you know, it's cool. Kind of looks like I have a tail, which not particularly intentional, but yeah, that looks quite nice. And then they will all go and destroy our enemies. And they, as you can see, they don't share iframes. They can all attack at once. So now, I think our behavior is pretty well set up. So let's just get our drawing figured out, and we will be done. Alright, so we're back. We're gonna have to do some things here real quick to get, I'm gonna do some after images. Don't think we've gone over that yet. So we just have to set these two boolean or not boolean, these ints to their respective values in static defaults. Again, if it's something that doesn't change between projectile instances ever, you want to set them instead, set static defaults, anything like that. We're also gonna need two things. I'm gonna need float eye rotation. Yeah, which is gonna be for drawing our little eyeball. So how are we gonna do this? Yeah, alright. Sorry, just thought about it for a second. So, we basically, the eye rotation is going to be the direction our eye is looking. So for example, here, eye rotation equals, I think, I don't know if this will work. Maybe it will. That direction 2. Dot center, dot to rotation. We're gonna try it. Here, we set our rotation to, I think, target position. Here, I'm gonna set it to center. Actually, we're just gonna set it here. Yeah. Then we should get our textures. Eye, glow, text outline. And then we're gonna draw our eyeball texture. And we just need vector to offset is equal to vector 2.1 rotated by rotation times 3f offset. I don't really want it to rotate. Yeah, that should work. Let's build up real quick. Alright, so I'm in game. Little issue I did. We want to use angle lerp, not regular math helper .lerp, because there needs some extra math just to make sure lerping between angles works. But now, look at that. The eyeball follows us pretty smoothly. But it's not super jarring. As you can see, it actually like moves. It's not just a lock on. It does the same thing with the targets, which is very cool. Now, with this eyeball, sorry about my squeaky chair. With this eyeball, I want to give it a little flash whenever we dash. So, how I think I want to do that, we're gonna get two things from here. Boom. Now we're gonna check if state equals dash and our timer is less than 35. Float interpolate equals timer divided by 35. 1f. Color equals color dot medium violet red. Actually, I might just go see. See on our sprite, I think like a pink flash would be nice. So we're gonna do color. Two, 68, 128, 0. Then draw, start texture. Dot center plus offset plus main fastest position. Basically just in the same spot as the eyeball. Your color times turbulent. Projectile rotation. Start text dot size. What about 2f? Do like 0.4f, 0f, 0f. Now, very cute. Now it has like a little flash. Let's Turpulent. It might be cool if the scale went down. And we're gonna do this and color that white times 0.2. With fade equals 0. Now it just kind of shrinks. Very cool, very cool, very cool. And then just get some bloom. Because who doesn't love bloom, guys? Let's see. What does that look like? Very nice. Now we have a little flash on the eyeball, and the eyeball is working good. Very cool. Let's go ahead and add the after images real quick. Actually, before I do that, let's make an outline texture draw whenever we dash. Oh, that's very cute. Nice. I like that quite a bit. Alright, cool. I mean, are after images really necessary? I don't know. But we're going to check two things for our after images. We're going to check if our state is dash or our state is fly to target. So, basically, basically we only want the after images to draw when we're either dashing or attacking an enemy, because I think it would look a little bit silly if it was happening all the time. Vector to pose. This is looping for the projectile.old pose array, which is an array of old positions, and we're gonna have 7 of them because that's what we set the trail cache length to. Then we're gonna index it with our loop, and then we're gonna do plus projectile.size divided by 2f because the old pose array stores top left of the sprite. We want to draw at the center, which that's projectile.center is just position plus size divided by 2f. They're pretty much the same thing. Then we have float equals 1f minus I divided by float dot pose length. Then we can just draw this, and then use position, and then multiply by 30. Very cool. Now I wanna do a few things. Float, fade in. If timer less than 0, where is it? This one. Equal to this. Oh, we're not multiplying it. Okay, yeah. So basically, the after images are gonna fade in, which looks good. However, else we're gonna do fade in equals 1f minus, yeah, timer divided by 35f. So these are going to fade our after images in and out as we attack, based on the timers. Which is going to look very clean. Now, this doesn't even really need anything. Now we're going to do color equals light color. If timer greater than 0, and we're dashing, and state equals minion state.dash. We're going to set color equals color.lerp. We're going to use the same nice pinkish color on our sprite. We can go from that to light color, fade in, color times equals lerp times fade in. Is it working? I don't know if it's working. Oh, it's backwards. 1f minus fade in. There we go. And now we have just a little pink flash whenever we dash at an enemy, which I think looks, yeah, very, 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 very nice. Now, I think I'm just gonna add some ambient dust, and also probably a whoosh sound effect. Her sound engine play sound id.dd2 like staff this way. Want that center width volume equals 0.5f. Pitch variance equals 0.3f. Just gonna make some whooshes whenever we dash. It's a little quiet. I mean, my game is also a little quiet, but there we go. And then dust. So we're gonna do else here, because I want some dust to happen when we're dashing. So dust that's perfect. And that's simple. Plus made diagram by next vector to circular. Now F. This is just going to create some randomness around our projectile center. Negative velocity times next float. Basically randomize the vector default. Make that random next vector to, or no, next float. 0.5f. A little aggressive. Yeah, looks pretty good. We're gonna do no gravity equals true, I think, on these. There we go. So they don't last as long. They don't linger as much. I do also want some just like idle velocity while we're idling. Or idle velocity. What am I saying? Idle dust. Actually, we might just be able to copy it here. And then just instead of this, we're gonna do main.land and it's vector to circular for the F. There we go. So now they just kind of create some poison dust as they're moving around. Very cute. Yeah. And then I do have to rebuild real quick, but we're just going to add some on-hit dust and sound effects, and then we're going to be done. Alright, so we're in here. And then I'm going to do target add buff. Poisoned. Ticks, I suppose. 0, 0. Plus 5. Plus. Oh boy. I'm gonna do center. Wait, what am I doing? Dust. I can do that's perfect. Okay, we're just gonna copy this for now. And yeah, and we can do okay. Dust type. Or sparkle. Take it by random 0.3F. Boom, boom. Let's get this nice pink color we've been using. And I think that would be good. And then custom data set to true. Then we're gonna do some blood. ID.blood. Oh, use this, and then kind of similar thing here. Set no gravity, and then I also want some with gravity, a little bit more aggressively spraying, although they're going to be a little bit smaller. And then we're just going to F. While I have this code, I'm going to copy it up here. Just these sparkles, so that we make some sparkles whenever we spawn a minion. Because I think that'll be cute. And I mean, ooh, do we want a? I'm just like, what could I do for a hit sound? Or it's just like hitting the NPC enough. I don't know. That I don't know if there's a good hit sound. But as you can see, sparkles at the cursor. Beautiful. And then oh, looks like there's an enemy for us to test it on. Oh, that looks so cool. I really like that. That is very nice. Trying to like think if I'm missing anything. I had an idea to add hit stop, but I don't think so. Just because it's such an early game weapon. What the hell? Why is there a moss hornet up here? I guess, bro. What? I actually have no idea why there's a moss hornet just flying at me. Oh, it's because of the hive blocks. I see. Anyways, let's spawn a bunch of these guys. And as you can see, they should work with whips. They target the whipped enemy. They get the tag bonus damage, and wow, they are absolutely tearing through. I mean, these are hard mode slimes, so they're taking a lot of hits, but wow. This summon is awesome? Question mark? I'm gonna go to a a pre-hard mode world real quick just to test it out and some actual pre-hard mode enemies. Dude, this thing is sick. Oh yeah, this thing's tough. Okay, yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this tutorial. I'm not sure there's anything else I need to go over, to be honest. I mean, yeah, sick. I'm hoping this tutorial was a little bit easier to follow. I had a bit more of an outline for myself, so it was a little more focused. I could go over a lot more of the code as I'm doing it. So hopefully that makes it a little bit less long-winded, easier to follow, better for you guys. Really like how this one turned out. This is gonna be the last weapon for now. I want to cover some different topics. I'm thinking next episode I want to do a couple of accessories, maybe have an episode for armor. I want to do some world generation as well, just to... Where is that guy going? Some world generation as well, just to go over some of that stuff. We can go over custom buffs. There's a lot of things that we can I mean, there's so much to cover in Terraria modding in general. I do want to eventually get started on a boss, probably an NPC first, and then move on to a fully fledged boss. That's definitely going to be a multi-parter. So, you know, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for when that happens. Other than that, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call this one here. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and comment anything you guys had trouble with, or any concerns, any criticisms for the series are all very welcome. But other than that, yeah, I think that's it, guys. See you guys in the next one.